Hello, beautiful people. Honest Am here, the creator and writer of the Honestly Sis newsletters, and I am here for another daily motivational video where we use the tarot to become the alchemists of our lives. A little bit about me. I do not just use the tarot, I use God and cousins in the same sentence, and I may mispronounce some things, but if it does not stop Charlemagne the God, it will not stop me. How are you guys doing today? All right, let's get into it. Now, what messages do you have for us to become the alchemists of our lives, to help bring heaven on earth, or just to do magic in public? God, please deliver these messages to me and through me as clear as possible. In God's name I pray. Ashe. That card may not come back out. That card may not come back out. Agent number 40. Make sure you check out the description box below. There are always additional information as well as information about me at honestlysis.com. Make sure you check out honestlysis.com. We have some great articles. Angel number 53. Yeah, angel number 53. Observation. Expand your consciousness by observing the divine matrix of life. Interesting. And freedom. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. Follow your heart and nurture your soul with love and freedom to grow. So I feel like with magnificent. So I feel like what this message is about is that I feel like what God is saying is that he wants you to just be a little bit more conscious about what's going on around you. I feel like you have been getting like intuition and nudges, but I don't feel like you've been paying a lot of attention to it. And I feel like what God is saying, if you really want to have freedom, then you need to pay attention to the stuff that is going on around you, because there are signs and synchronicities and things that are happening around you to let you know that you are on the right track. But if you do not know how to communicate with God and the universe, he's telling you that if you just follow your heart and nurture your soul, or nurture the voice that's on the inside. So those things that told you to click on this video, those things that told you maybe you should log on Instagram right now, or maybe you should go to that webinar. Like, if you just keep following those things, then it would eventually lead you to the life that you ultimately want to be at. Last thing that God says is magnificent. You are amazing, magnificent, and unique, but most importantly, you are enough. And so what God is saying is that maybe you have been feeling like, you've been seeing a lot of people around you have been being blessed, and a lot of people around you seem to be living the life that you want to live. And maybe it may not be people like in your immediate circle, but maybe just, your social media timeline, people you went to school with, and maybe you're trying to figure out, like, why don't I have that? Like, why don't I have that freedom? Why don't I have that joy? And I feel like what God is saying is because you don't feel like you're worthy of it, and he wants to remind you that you are. All right, God, clarify this message of observation, freedom, and magnificent. What are you trying to get us to understand with this message of being an observer of life? Also, I feel like he's saying, don't get so caught up in the stuff that's going on in your mind. You are not your thoughts. Your thoughts is nothing but a storage container. So when you get triggered, it's really just taking that information. When you're triggered, what happens is your mind is bringing up something that happened in your past, and then it's replaying all of that shit. And that's why you feel all these emotions and all that stuff. It's just because your mind is like, and remember this happened, girl, remember that happened, and remember that. You are not your mind. You can always just take a deep breath. When you start getting anxious, what I do is literally do some EFT tapping. There are videos on here about that. But God is trying to say, like, you don't have to be at the disposal of life. You can take control of your life by observing yourself, observing your emotions. And when those triggers do come up, like, after you can calm yourself down, really ask yourself, like, what was that about? Like, why did I feel that way? Like, honestly, what I've been noticing, anybody that I find myself envious or jealous of, like, it's really because they're doing something that I want to do, and for whatever reason, I don't feel like I'm, like, it's like, why within myself don't I feel like I'm worthy of that? It's like, I have to recognize that anything that anybody else has nothing to do with me. Like, that's their blessing, their path, whatever. When it's my turn, I'm going to have it, and I have to know that I'm worthy of it. So often we're like so jealous, and we're hating people, or we're hating on somebody because we feel like they have something that we can't have. But that's not true. You can have whatever you want. The universe is abundant, but you don't get what you you don't get what you think you should have, you get what you believe. And if deep down inside you don't believe that you're worthy of nice things, if you don't believe that you're worthy of love, if you don't think you're worthy of having freedom, then you're going to always be enslaved to something. It's a mindset shift. It's just like in Underground, Noah said that they have tricked us into thinking that freedom is a place, but it's a mind state. That's why, y'all, we killed Kanye for it. But it is true. A lot of us, we are enslaved to a lot of stuff. Shit, I'm enslaved to it. I may be free. I may have flexibility, but from 9 to 5 for 5 days a week, outside of holidays and weekends, I have to report my time to somebody. So is that truly freedom? I have to do this because I have student loans and I have to pay taxes, and those are invisible chains. And so I feel like what God is saying is like, once you're able to, make sense of your situation, or for whatever, maybe not even make sense of your situation, but once you understand inside of yourself that you are worthy of having freedom and having love and all of that stuff, then let everything else go. Your life is going to turn up into chaos and turmoil because you're telling God, I'm ready for something more. I'm ready for something better. I feel like what God is saying is that observe your life. Changes are happening in your life. People are merging out. And if people are being pushed out of your life, it's not because you're some shitty person. I feel like what God is saying is because he's trying to get the right people to you. So let things go. Don't try to hold on so much. So let's move on. Angel number 638. God, clarify this message of observation and freedom. What are you trying to get us to understand about, expanding our consciousness by, observing life? What is this divine matrix of life? What are you trying to get us to understand? How do we get to freedom? Are you saying we're not free? Why are you reminding us of this message of observation, freedom, and magnificence? Please give us one card to clarify. I asked for one and I got 3. And actually, he gave me one. I can create both time and money to enjoy it. Many of you tell us that you are so busy making your money that you do not have time to enjoy it. For when you rely on your action to create, often you are too tired to enjoy your creations. Once you not only understand the power of your thought, but deliberately directing this powerful tool in the direction of the things you desire, then you will discover that the action part of your life is the way that you enjoy what you have created through your thoughts. So I feel like what God is saying is that now we have to kind of do a reverse engineering of our mind. We are observing life to see the things that I feel like it's very important. And I'm going to get this card too. I feel like it's very important for us to know what we don't want. Because in order for you to know what you want, you got to know what you don't want, right? So I feel like as we're paying attention to this, if you are, let's say we're observing life, you're realizing I'm in a dead end job. And it may not be dead end for the world, but it's dead end for you. You're like, I'm in a job where I'm not happy. It doesn't bring me joy. You observe that, right? Now, let's stop paying attention to it. We know that it's crazy. We know that it's chaotic. We know that it's going to be all that stuff. Now let's start thinking about, what do you want to do? What things do you do for fun? Once you started to focusing on, or at least start thinking about, okay, like, what do I like to do? Once you start going down that road, then you'll start being able to find that freedom and that love, and you'll get excited about life again. I feel like what God is saying is that you're not trapped. If only you would say, okay, I see that this situation is not what I want it to be. It's not how I want it to go. Now let's focus your energy and your attention on what you do want to happen. Once you do that, once you do that, angel number 927, then you'll be able to free yourself up and things will change in your life. Right? Let's go to these next 2 cards. I will praise success whenever I see it. Whenever you find yourself critical of the way anyone has attracted or using money, so again, about this observing, you're looking at the things in your life. That's what God is saying. You want to change your life, you want things to change, you have to take conscious control, because what is happening is, this is the thing. The whole purpose of being on this earth, right? The whole purpose of us coming in this stimulation, being in this 3D body, being spiritual beings, is because God wanted us. He chose us. We chose to come here to help put our fingerprints on it, to help allow earth to, merging with other people, but to allow our dreams and all that stuff. Like, we didn't come down here to be enslaved, right? We didn't come down here to be fucked up. Like, we all came down here with a plan. And your dreams and all that stuff is trying to get you to that plan. But I'm not going to confuse you. So as you're in this body, right, as you are living your day-to-day life, you're not happy with your reality. You're feeling this discontentment. And the reason why you're feeling this discontentment is because your spirit is telling you, hey, this is not how life is supposed to be for us. And so what God is saying, trust that feeling of saying, this is not how life is to be for us. Instead of constantly looking at what is going wrong and saying how fucked up these people are, or how fucked up this job are, how fucked up your family is, how fucked up your friends are. God is saying, just turn your attention and start thinking about, what do you want? Now I'll always say, like, whenever somebody makes me mad, I'll be like, I would never do this. Like, I would never be this type of boss, or I would never act this way, or I would never have a company that's like this. Like, I just take the stuff that annoys me and I try to think about, well, what would I like this? What will be an ideal future for it? That's changing that's transmuting. That's taking the power of your reality. It's just like that card we have that say life is always working out for me, because you're actively creating, right? So if you have to realize, like, as you're living, you're creating. So if you're constantly thinking negative things, you just keep recycling negative, right? So what God is saying is, use the negative to bounce you into another direction. Whenever you find yourself critical of the way anyone has money or is using money, you are pushing money away from you. But when you realize that what others do with money has nothing to do with you, and that your primary work is to think, speak, and do what feels good to you, then you will be in alignment not only about the subject of money, but about every subject in your physical experience. So again, God is saying He's using money in this sense. You guys that see the Kardashians, or you see these rich people and you're just like, no, they're so fucked up. Everybody that's billionaires are evil, or why are they doing this, blah, blah, blah. But what you're really doing is blocking yourself. You're blocking your own blessing. What God is saying, use that and be like, you know what? For the Kardashians, for example, I wouldn't do that. When I have my money, I'm actually going to use that. Instead of celebrating it on Instagram, I'm going to hide it. Or if I want to have a vacation, I don't need Instagram to know, because I don't want to make everyday people feel like shit because they're not able to do that. Or, like, whatever. God is just saying, don't be a hater. Praise success whenever you see it. Whenever anything is going wrong, use that as a springboard to get where you ultimately want to be. Angel number 1313. And the last thing is, whatever I desire, I can acquire. The eternal laws in the universe steadily holds the promise of expansion, joy, and joy. Understanding the laws will reawaken with you the knowledge of your purpose and your own personal power as you remember Understanding the laws will reawaken within you the knowledge of your purpose and your own personal power as you remember how to access the power of the universe that creates world. If this time-space reality has within it the ability to inspire a desire within you, it is absolute that this time-space reality has the ability to yield you a full and satisfying manifestation of that desire. It is law. What is that trying to tell us, Am? Angel number 1403. What God is trying to say is, I want you to know that there is nothing that come across your mind. There is nothing, no nudge, no dream, no fantasy, no vision that I put on your mind that you are not able to accomplish it. I put it on your mind because I want your ass to go get it. I put these people in your life. I put these things in your matrix to prompt your soul, to make you irritated, mad, and jealous, because I want you to know that you could be living that life too. God is just trying to let you know that you have the power inside of you. But if only you would just stop looking externally, if only you would stop hating on everybody else. Stop focusing on what everybody else is doing. Put blinders on. I have watched The Defiant Ones so many times. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and buy it because I want to watch it again. And Jimmy Iovine was talking about how, how racehorses, they have these blinders on because if not, they'll look left and right and they'll get fucked up, right? They'll lose track. And so when you are going after a goal, you have to be like that horse and you have to have tunnel vision. You have to be like, fuck what the fuck is going on around me, because the thing is, the outside world is fucked up. We know this world is fucked up. We know America is fucked up. So are we just going to allow ourselves to keep feeling fucked up, or are we going to put our blinders on and focus on what we are trying to create? Focus on this freedom that we are trying to bring. Angel number 1545. Do a work your light so we can get on out of here. Actually, I gotta switch it. Gonna do a blessing. God, what if we take the advice of this reading, God? What if we know that whatever we desire, we acquire? What if we start observing life and allowing the things that irritate us or make us mad and start praising it? What if we stop being a hater and just start focusing on getting freedom and joy for our own life? What if we know that we are worthy and magnificent and unique, and that everything that you have placed on our mind is worthy to go after and to receive? God, what blessing comes to us if we take the advice for this reading? Make it as plain as possible. Plain as possible. One card. Angel number 1650. One card. You are the blessing, bitch. Go off, God. I said, what's the blessing? He said, bitch, you. Angel number 1705. That's 1705. You are the blessing. You are a blessed soul and a blessing to the world and others. In giving, you also receive, for life is ebb and flow of love and blessing. We are all of a single essence in one spirit. To give is to bless both yourself and others. So what God is saying for you creatives that just hold on to your things, or you've had these visions about being an amazing creator and you're like, I don't know how I'm gonna get there, or am I being selfish because I'm worried about myself, because I should be contributing to the greater good of the world? And what God is saying, no. By you focusing on by yourself, by you becoming the best person that you can be, you contribute to the greater good of the world, and people will have the pleasure of being blessed because of you. We're all in this together. We're all vibrating together. Those intuition, those nudges, those dreams, those signals that are coming to you, they're coming from the Most High. They're coming from God. Where else would they come from? And he's not a selfish person. He wouldn't put it on your mind just to be like, let's just see how to make her feel. No, he put it on your mind because he wants you to get excited about it. He wants you to start moving in the direction of it. He wants you to know that you're worthy of it. But you have to understand that. You have to know that you are the blessing. And stop looking for it elsewhere. It's not going to come from anywhere else but inward. The life that you want to create, it can't come from anybody but you. You can't put that on your husband. You can't put that on your best friend. You damn sure can't even put it on your job. You got to find it within yourself. Last thing, God is saying the blessing of endless possibilities. Allow your inner child to be the master for a while. Don't take things too seriously. Remember, having joy and freedom too. Have fun and explore the world of endless possibilities. Something wonderful is created through imagination and innocence. So that's what God is saying. Angel number 1911. Yeah, we know you're not happy. You're not in a place that you want to be. You don't feel free. You don't feel worthy. But now you know that you're worthy. Now you know that you can be free. So now let's just have some fun and get to the way. God is saying you don't have to get super serious and I got to take my diet out and I can only eat this. I can't eat red meat and I can only drink water. I can't drink pop. God don't give a fuck about none of that shit. What he cares about is you taking that time to go inward, you being observing of life and asking yourself, what do you want? You knowing that whatever you desire, you will acquire, and that you are the blessing. He wants you to know that you have the power, you have endless possibility of your capability and where you can go. The sky is the limit. But it's only if you believe you are worthy. The last thing God is saying now is the blessing. Stop looking for your past. You can't go back. Stop looking for the future. It's not there. It ain't even created yet. You're creating the future right now. We get so caught up in being like, oh, when I turn 40, oh, when this happened, I'm going to be popping. And no, bitch, do it now. Feel that way right here, right now. Find a way to be content now. I'm not saying that you can't dream, but I'm saying that if you are only going to feel better when you get this dream life that you are projecting, then you're never going to feel better. You got to find a way to feel better now. And you'll feel better now by knowing that whatever you desire, you can acquire. So it don't even matter where you are right now because you know where you're going. You feel me? Now is the endless blessing. Life is a timeless moment in the eternal now. You perceive a yesterday, today, and tomorrow, but in reality, there is only now. Feel me when I say this. We are so caught up in holding on to shit from our past. Angel number 2125, and that shit is gone. It's only being relived because you keep reliving it. You keep allowing yourself to go over and over through the same thing. When are you going to let it go? When are you going to stop being the person of your past? I'm sure everybody had to make that transition. I want to say Jay talked about it when he had to make that transition between being like, I'm really going to take this rap shit serious and I'm not a jerk. Like, he had to make that transition. Because he could have kept doing it. He was doing it at one point. He was juggling both of them. But at some point, you have to make that transition. And it's not saying that he stopped being a hustler, because look what the fuck he done did now. But at some point, you have to decide, oh yeah, I'm just this person. This is just who I am. I had that moment where I'm like, oh, I've been trying. I guess God is so funny. I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna finish this, then we're gonna go. God will put you in situations to where you can observe something in yourself. You know, have you ever been around somebody and you just like, you hate that somebody's doing something, but then you realize, oh shit, I low key do that too. And it makes you realize, it makes you change how you are. And so I've been around this past weekend, I got to be around people who try to be the center of attention. I got to be around people who want attention and who, and I got to see the difference between trying and, trying to do it and just being. I realized that when I just am myself, when I'm just like naturally chill and just like, when I'm just myself, like I am a naturally inquisitive person. I'm going to ask you questions. I'm going to look you in your face. I'm going to smile at you. That's just who I naturally am. I don't have to try to be that. And I noticed that every time where I wasn't even trying. I was just being. Every time somebody would look me in my face like, it was nice to meet you. What's your name? What is your name? Who are you? Like, because I was being me, I didn't have to try anything. I think that's why I've been with this YouTube channel. I like mentally, I've been like, I'm just going to do this. But I think there was a part of me like, I'm going to try this. I'm going to try to get people to understand, get people to get this. And it's not even about that. It's about being. It's about doing what the fuck I know I'm supposed to be doing right now. Whether it's going to yield the results that I think it's supposed to yield, whatever. Here, whatever not. Whatever it is, I realized that there's something about accepting where you are right now. Accepting who you've become. Accepting your past. Knowing that where you're headed is going to happen. It's not a matter of if, how many. It's just like it's going to happen. You just got to let it go. All right, last thing. Life is a timeless moment in the eternal now. You perceive a yesterday, today, and tomorrow, but in reality, there's only now. Focusing on the past or the future keeps you from fully living in receiving life's blessings. What did that say? Focusing on the past or focusing on the future, it stops you from fully living and receiving life's blessings. What did the beginning of this thing talked about being observing? If you so much in your head, you're going to miss what's around you. Bring your awareness within and you will receive a timeless blessing. So that is my last message to you guys, is to just come be in the now. Know that whatever you desire, you can acquire. Know that you can create time and money to enjoy it. Know that the people that either you hate on them or the people that you admire, whatever spectrum they're on, either way it go, you're capable of having it within you. But you're not going to get it by working yourself to death. You're not going to get it by hating on other people. It's only going to come by you knowing that you're blessed within. It's only going to know when you know that you're worthy of receiving everything that you desire. And when you accept yourself for right where you are. There's no such thing as the past, and there's no such thing as the future. There is only right now. There's only what you do on a day-to-day basis. So are you going to do today something that pushes you closer to your dreams or further away? The choice is yours. All right, y'all. That is all the messages I have for you. If it was beneficial for you, please give me your key takeaway down below. If not, please give me a thumbs up. Until we meet again, dream those dreams. Never let the internet rush you. Never, ever, ever let someone tell you what you cannot do. Agent number 2630. Namaste. Take care.